Hi everyone, this is Sunette, and in this video we are continuing with our process of becoming aware of our minds in our bodies. It is the first step that has to be taken before starting your process of mind and body mapping. Because before you can really map your own mind and your body, first you have to get to know your mind, and within that get to know your mind's relationship with your physical body and who you are within it all. So for me as well, where I started with this process is defining and describing my emotions, my feelings, and where exactly I could feel and become aware of them having an impact and effect on my physical body, which also in time assisted and supported me to, whenever I become aware of an emotion taking root within myself because I reacted to something or someone. Emotion taking root meaning the moment where the emotion starts spreading inside yourself and your physical body. The moment I started becoming more aware of my emotions and my body and that relationship, I could prevent unnecessary reactions, outbursts, saying or doing things that I may or might later regret. But overall, it assisted and supported me to become more aware of how much of myself, my relationships, my life can change by being able to more speedily act on directing my own emotions when they start going out of control inside myself because I reacted to something or someone. But we'll get into that in time to come. For now, let's continue with where we started off in the first video. I'm going to share with you the emotion that I became aware of since we did the first video, and I'll also describe it and define it and the impact and effect it had on my body. And within that, what I realized in the breathing process, moving my awareness into my chest, focusing more on the pressure and how it's supported with releasing the buildup of energy in my stomach area. So the emotion I became aware of is uncertainty. And I firstly described uncertainty for myself. Like, how does the energy in itself feel? How do I feel when I'm uncertain? And how I described it for myself was feeling uneasy, as though something was amiss, and all the information or data I had about something or someone, it feels like it's all over the place. It's very vague. Nothing is solid or clear or tangible. So, the uncertainty literally feels like it's, part of yourself is just up in the air and being pushed all over the place, and you don't know where you are or who you are. And then within that, I also took it, into the step of what exactly is the impact or effect of uncertainty on my physical body, my solar plexus. When that energy roots itself in my solar plexus, stomach area, how does my body respond to it? And how I described and defined that was, it feels like uncertainty hollows, creates like this hollow vacuum in my stomach, solar plexus area. And within that, it feels like there's this big rock, weighing itself down in that hollowed space in my stomach. And at the same time, that rock and hollowed space is vibrating and resonating. So in putting these two together, even defining and describing an emotion and the effect or impact it's having on your physical body, more specifically where we're focusing on first and foremost is the stomach area, I realize how it actually can help me resolve a problem or an issue. Like when I looked at defining and describing the uncertainty and the experience it was having on my body, I also at the same time looked at, you know, my relationship with the person that caused the initial triggering of, you know, this emotional energy of uncertainty. And I realized, okay, the uncertainty is existing, the experience of unease, feeling like everything's all over the place. The information is vague because I hadn't asked specific questions, I hadn't clarified things for myself, I didn't communicate effectively, I didn't gather all the facts. So this is also something that you can take with you when you start defining and describing your emotions and the effect that they're having on your body. You know, also within that, ask yourself, okay, within this defining and describing of the emotions and its relationship with my body, what can I learn from it? You know, how can understanding this actually show me what the problem is to also find a solution in my relationship with something or someone in my everyday life, just like I did. But our main focus for now is just taking the first basic steps of awareness. I know for many it might seem initially like very simple or too basic steps, but it is always important to have a set foundation. Whenever you start something new or learn something new, you'll find in videos to come, and you know, also in the courses I offer, that your basics are always your pillars in a process that you walk. It is something that you can always go back to whenever you feel like things are getting a bit too tough or challenging. So that's why we're going to practice in the basics first and foremost. Now, the breathing, and this is something that I'd like everyone to take with you from this video, that you will find is sometimes there's an emotional energy or experience inside yourself, your solar plexus, that you're aware of, and you're trying the breathing, focusing on your chest and the pressure here, just breathing, slowing your mind down, slowing yourself down, and focusing on the chest, the pressure, feeling the pressure become more and more as the emotional energy starts dissipating and releasing a bit. That you'll find the time factor also plays a role here, that you might feel like you are not really releasing that energy, that emotional energy is not dissipating, and the chest pressure is not getting more, it feels like it's taking forever. Depending on the severity or intensity of your emotional reaction inside yourself. Like for me, the uncertainty was very subtle. So it was not a very intense, overwhelming emotional experience. It was quite subtle, so it was rather easy to describe it, define it as the experience in itself and its relationship with my body. And it took just about 3 or 4 breaths here. What also works for me is if I place my hand on my chest and just breathe until I feel myself and the energy is calmed. But sometimes there are moments where I literally need to lie down or create a quiet space for myself and just breathe and slow down. Sometimes even cry the energy out if it is really overwhelming and intense. You know, sometimes just breathing is not enough and you need to just cry it out, and that's also alright. But do realize that it's not about quickly breathing to try and release this energy and feel your pressure in your chest. No, it's giving yourself really the time that you need to slow down, to breathe, to just release the energy that triggered within you, to kind of return to your baseline stability, your calm, your comfortability, yourself really. So for this video, everyone, what I'd like you to do is play with getting to know the different, shall we say, fields of energy, meaning how intense or less intense is an emotional energy, and how long would you say did it take you to really breathe and focus on your chest and feel that pressure in your chest becoming a bit more and more and more as the energy was dissipating? Because in the next video I'm going to be introducing you to mass, how emotional energy has a mass, and within that also a vibration signature, to what extent it vibrates, it resonates, the weight of emotional energy. So in a way, having a look at the physics of emotional energy, and in this also expand on why and how it is that when you focus on your chest and you breathe, that your emotional energy releases, and there's a pressure in your chest that becomes stronger. What's really happening inside yourself that's creating the pressure in the chest and for that energy to be dissipating? How does that really happen? What's really at work in there? Alright everyone, thank you very much for listening, and do practice the breathing and the time factor. Get to know the intensity of your different emotional reactions. So herein you're starting to get to know and define and describe the nature of your emotional energy. Starting to realize how sometimes it will be more intense, other times less intense. Okay, thank you very much for listening, and see you in videos to come.